worst of the conditions. And I always have my reservations about Johnny Bairstow at Test level.
Someone else other than Joe Root has got to get involved, because they don't. They're never going to get these runs on the board.
I think he's a fantastic cricketer, and how he has not played a game since the winter is a mystery. Will need pace in Australia. See, they're not going to give England seaming tracks.
What do you think England have got to do to go down under and try and win up there? Hello and welcome to another First Class Cricket Academy podcast. Today I'm joined by Raj, and it will just be us two conducting this podcast. So I don't know if that'd be good for me, as England managed to lose again. They probably maybe should have drawn or maybe even won, looking at the end of yesterday. Just to quickly go over the innings, India scored a total of 191 all out at the start of day one, which you would have thought wasn't par at the Oval, bearing in mind it's normally a pretty good pitch. And then England came behind and got 290, which again, England would have felt that they were definitely at least 100 odd short. Raj, coming to you quickly about the first innings, both teams think were pretty short to start off with.
Yes, but India had the worst of the conditions to contend with, and I think if India won the toss, the thing would have been the same if England batted first on that. So in course of the entire series till now, India has had the worst of the conditions. So I think that was one of the main reasons why we got pulled out cheaply in the first place. And,
you probably say, Raj, it was quite cloudy. Day one was quite cloudy, murky. Wasn't the batting conditions probably India would have wanted to have?
Yeah, absolutely. But, when you're in England, you will get conditions like this. And that's what they had practiced for when they were in Durham and trying to get used to it. Just like when you go to India, you are going to get turners. So,
Raj, to be fair, one person who wasn't fazed by it was Thakur. Came in, got 57, and Kohli got 50. But Thakur coming in for his first match of the series, that's not a bad effort.
No, he played the first game. It was the second. Yeah, he played the first game. And yes, the best part about that was we were in the doldrums at that point, and he counter-attacked and got us to 190, which was brilliant in those circumstances. And then in the second innings also, he came and got those vital runs with Rishabh Pant. So that set us up nicely in the game. And to be honest, I think that is where it hurt England the most. That, they had got Virat early in that. Rahane was out. But then Thakur and Pant took it to that 465 almost. And then some hitting by Bumrah and Umesh Yadav at the end.
Raj, there was lots of speculation about the India tail not being long enough, but I think after watching this test series, I think that tail looks pretty strong. I think after, especially what happened at Lords and what's happened at the Oval, I think they can probably, Bumrah, maybe they don't trust him as much as they probably want to, but at least they've got someone that can maybe get 25 runs to help, go towards the total.
Yeah, I think they have the tailenders have worked a lot on the batting front, especially, and they have realized that if the tailenders can contribute at least 30-40 runs, that would be a massive bonus to this side, especially with the middle order not firing as they wanted to. And I think that's the way they have gone and prepared for it. And things did work out here in the second innings as well as that innings in Lords when England went short at them rather than bowling full.
Rod, Chris Woakes looked pretty good, bearing in mind he hasn't really played much cricket. Came in and bowled 15 overs, 6 maidens, 55 runs, 4 wickets. It's not a bad effort for your first test match for a long time.
I think he's a fantastic cricketer, and how he has not played a game since the winter is a mystery. It's an absolute mystery. But the thing I like as the series has gone on is England have taken the hit and they are slowly getting the part-timers out of the side, the bits and pieces players, and they're now going to a team which looks more solid. So you've got Hamid at the top, then you got Malanin, then you got Moin Ali back, then you got Wokes back, and there are, I think, one or two places now. And then, other than that, that looks like a proper test side rather than getting this bits and pieces players, just hyped up players, and because they perform in some instances in the white ball game and stick with them. This side, yes, they have lost the test match, and I think mm, I am not 100% sure about Craig Overton, but other than that, this side looks much more compact side if with Ollie Pope coming in as well, and that looks like more a test side. And on a wicket keeping front, I would rather have Folks, that's for sure, especially in the longer format.
Yeah, Raj, coming on to England's first innings, 290 all out, a contribution coming from Ollie Pope, who hasn't played much cricket at all this summer due to an injury. Chris Wokes, just spoken about him, 50 runs, does it with the ball, does it with the bat. And Johnny Bairstow with 37. Raj, just coming to Johnny Bairstow, we've talked a lot about him with Darren, Theo, about what he brings to the team. He's getting a lot of 30s, but not really converting those to 50s. But then everyone's saying he's looking really good. Do you think because he looks good, does that make him deserve a place in the team?
I'm not sure where he looks good. I think when he bats, if you see someone like Root bat or Malan bat, or for that matter, Oli Pope bat, it seems things flow.
Hmm.
When you see Rohit Sharma bat or KL Rahul bat, things flow. Johnny Bairstow, when he bats in one day cricket, is completely different to Johnny Bairstow batting in Test cricket. Johnny Bairstow batting in Test cricket seems he's battling, not batting,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But mm, it doesn't look that way when the others are doing that.
Ollie Pope, 81 Raj. He did look pretty good, I thought. I thought he looked outstanding. In fact, I thought he's a player that I can't really see not getting into that inside, to be honest.
I think Oli Pope has done quite a bit of work since the Test series in India, and he looks much better than what he looked in India.
Mm.
So I think that's really good that he has done the work. And in India, he looked all sorts of trouble, but here he obviously hasn't had to play a quartet of spinners that way. But whatever spin he faced and whatever the Indian seamers had to offer, he was very good in the first innings.
And then I suppose I'll come back to him again, Raj. Chris Wokes, 50. What more can you ask for, you know?
He's a genuine all-rounder, isn't he?
Mm.
He performs with a bat, he performs with a ball, he is a decent on the field. I just don't know what are the theories that England have against him. It's
Mm.
unbelievable that a player like that doesn't find a place regularly in the test squad where you have someone like Sam Curran just getting opportunity after opportunity. I've got no idea.
Before we come on to why England did this, why England did that, it all seems to be what we're going about in these podcasts at the moment. But anyway, we'll just come on to the two other innings. India, their second innings, 466 all out with a quality Rohit Sharma 100 in there. First 100 away from India, if I'm right in saying, Raj. I think if I'm correct there. And then Thakur again, 60, Pujara 61, and Pant 50. The difference I can see between that is they're getting a lot more people getting these 50s. I find England, it's more 80, 50, and there's these 30s. This India side, do you reckon it's more compact in the way they go about things, in the way how they all get these 50s, these little partnerships which form these big scores like 466? We always hear England talking about getting these 400s. So is this the way how to go about it?
See, the Indian middle order till now hasn't fired. Kohli hasn't had a big one. Yes, he has got 250s, but he hasn't fired. Rane hasn't fired. Pujara last two innings, he has got some runs, but he's not even, though he's batting, he batted a lot better in this test match compared to the way he started the series. And Indian middle order hasn't fired, but the lower middle order has bailed out.
Mm.
Rishabh Pant, this was the first innings actually he has scored a 50, I think, in this series. But Shardul Thakur was a revelation, and the way he counterpunched, he just got India back into the game. But I think what happens with the Indian side is, which is different to the England side, is the Indian side, everyone is different. Rohit Sharma bats Rohit Sharma way. Pujara bats his way. Kohli bats his way. KL Rahul bats his way. Rahane his way. Pant his way.
Mm.
In India, we do not try and standardize players that everyone has to bat like this.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay. No one will go and have a go at Pujara that why is he not batting like Rohit Sharma, or why is Rahane not batting like Kohli. It doesn't happen. Everyone has their strengths. They will bat according to their strengths.
Mm.
They are not robots. We do not manufacture robots. Okay. So it is not standardized. Batting is bowling is not standardized. Bumrah would not have played cricket if he was born and brought up in England with that action, that run up.
Mm.
Okay. So I think the uniqueness of each player is what makes India a different side. And of course, see, these guys have taken, if you play cricket in India right from your school days,
Mm.
you do not go up the rank if you don't take the pressure, right? So they are all used to pressure. There is no point in saying that these guys will crumble under pressure. These guys are too used to pressure.
Mm.
I think that is another aspect. And on top of that, the fielding was very good. I think we drew one, two catches though, but general out cricket has been really good.
Raj, I'll quickly before we come on to England's innings again, Chris Wokes did bowl well. Then you would probably think Overton probably didn't look up to his best compared to what he has been doing. Anderson didn't look probably, but he's probably a bit tired having played all 4 Test matches. Let's come on to England's batting. Hamid and Burns, they look a pretty good, strong opening partnership. I know England lost this Test match, but I suppose one thing they could come out of this Test match thinking is that their 2 openers both passing 50, putting 100 on for the first, someone getting out. That's pretty good for England to know that.
Yeah, I think Hamid batted really well in the second innings. I think he had a rush of blood, and he tried to slow sweep Jadeja and got dropped at long on. And then I think he mm, played a bad shot to the ball. He got out. He didn't need to play that ball. But till the time he batted really well. He batted compact. He batted like an opening batsman. Rory Burns, the only thing I can say is got a fantastic temperament. And the thing that goes for him is his temperament, right? And obviously, Bumrah has troubled him a lot this series, and for him to stick it out and get to 50. And that last evening, they batted really well and they put the bad balls away. And that was definitely a positive from England. And to be honest, Joe Root, after the series he was due a failure. So he's had, by his standards, he's had 2 failures in this game.
Raj, you actually say that he's failed, but he was still the third leading run scorer in his England innings. Now that's quite worrying, isn't it? You would think that you would want someone else contributing just other than Hamid and Burns. Someone else, actually don't count Joe Root in this. Someone else other than Joe Root has got to get involved, because if they don't, they're never going to get these runs on the board.
Yeah, that's how it is, isn't it? That's how it is. So that doesn't look great for the future. But at least you've got people now who at least are batting like someone should be batting in the longer format. So Moeen Ali got a really good start in the first innings. Yes, he threw it away. Ollie Pope got a really good start. He batted well. and I always have my reservations about Johnny Bairstow at test
Mm,
level, and I'm not very sure about Craig Overton.
mm,
And to be honest, other than Anderson, the see the England bowlers need the conditions to bowl well.
mm.
On a flat wicket, they let India get to 460 plus. Okay,
Yeah.
in a flat wicket, when nothing was happening, the Indian bowlers got 10 wickets in a day.
Raj, I was just about to come on to that quickly just before you start on about the flat wicket. England not being able to survive a day. You can, yeah, I don't know what Test cricket's like, but knowing that wicket was flat, it wasn't doing anything. Hearing what the commentators were saying, do you not think they should have maybe, at least got a bit gone for a bit longer than just till after tea?
Yeah, when the way they started, I think last evening, when someone came to the ground this morning, all three results were possible, and I don't think there was much chance of a draw, though. It would have been either India or England, depending on how England paced the innings. And they started it well as well today. But all of Virat Kohli's moves
Mm,
clicked. So any bowling change he made today, that clicked. The field setting he had, that clicked. And one thing was obvious is they have done a lot of homework and planning on the England batsmen. And what they did was on the flat wicket, they realized that the wicket is not going to give us anything. So we'll take the wicket out of it
mm,
and go full and reverse with Bumrah, and use Jadeja to hold up one end and hit the rough, so that the ball gets scruffed up one side as well. So, and then in time it started reversing. So they literally took the pitch out of the equation, and the fields they set almost 5-4 leg side fields
mm,
and bowled straight at the stump. So you couldn't afford to miss the ball. And secondly, all your scoring options were blocked off, because if the ball is coming into you, where are you going to go? You're going to go mid wicket squaring, and those areas were blocked off.
mm,
So A, you are not scoring, and B, you're protecting your stumps against 90-mile reverse swing bowling.
mm.
So that was quite decent. And then obviously they used the short ball really well. So I think that was fantastic planning, and mm, anticipating what the wicket does and reacting according to it.
Mm.
And only when they took the second new ball did they move around back to three slip cordon.
But Raj, we say Kohli, he might not have been scoring big runs, but his captaincy, determination for that India team to win, you can just see how much it means to a country with so many people in, and how much it means for him to make. Maybe they can't. England might win the next Test match, but they're taking the trophy back home now. That's literally well, they won the series. That's quite a big thing for Kohli to take back to India.
I think what Kohli has done is he's very passionate. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and that has rubbed on a lot of his teammates also. And this Indian team is not going to take any step backward. So they're going to fight fire with fire, and at times it will, if it becomes uncomfortable for the opposition, so be it. And they've beaten Australia in Australia. Now, if they beat England in England, obviously they will be the number one side in the world. And the best thing about Kohli is he has this passion for Test cricket, and not a one trick pony of white ball, white ball, white ball. And that's the best thing about Kohli. Until the time you've got people like Kohli around, Test cricket is very safe and sound, because apparently I was reading this today. The last two Test matches have made more money than the 16.4 overs that was played for a month, and that is really good for cricket in general.
Raj, I think just before we finish this, just before we end this our little podcast here, what do you think England need to do to, looking ahead to the Ashes? We were speaking with Jason Gillespie not long ago, saying that this series was going to be, he said it was going to be a close one, which it has been a close series. You can argue it's 2-1 to India. England will be looking to hopefully try and draw the series, but India will take the trophy home. What do you think England have got to do to go down under and try and win up there when they can't beat India under their, or they can't retain a trophy under their home conditions?
So I think first of all they will need pace in Australia. I see they're not going to give England seaming tracks, and if you're bowling at between 80 and 84 mile an hour, right, that is not going to help. So you will need pace, you will need a quality spinner, and you will need to make sure that the ball does reverse. And when the ball reverses at pace, that is going to be a different option completely. At the same time, your batting order has to bat. The batsmen have to put runs on the board, and the batsmen, if they select proper batsmen, I'm sure they will be able to do that. But they'll have to now give people like Hamid a long run, because you've got Moin Ali back in the side, you've got Hamid back in the side, and you got Pope back in the side. So if you're going to play them, you need to give them a long run rather than chop and change.
Raj, would you bring James Vince in there? Could he fit in there somewhere?
I quite like James Vince because, again, he bats properly. So if there is a place for him, yes, why not? But I would have someone like a Ben Fowkes as a keeper.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll look to take him to Australia.
And you'll need a quality spinner as well. It's really strange that through the whole summer, Jack Leach hasn't played a game. It is quite strange. Yeah. And then I don't know what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah. Well, Raj, quickly, just before we finish, touch on Ashwin. Didn't play. Could have been he could have probably helped a lot for India to wrap this up even faster than they did. Do you think what's going on there with him not playing, do you reckon?
I don't have any idea what's going on, but normally you would play Ashwin at least at the Oval if you didn't play him before. But I think they are thinking that they're going to go with a 4-prong pace attack and just use Jadeja to hold one end up, because that is what he does really well. Personally speaking, I would have definitely played Ashwin at the Oval, and in that case I think the game would have been over by lunchtime. But Ashwin's place was taken by Shardul Thakur. So and you can't complain.
Got runs. Oh well.
He's got the most important wicket of Joe Root. He nicked off Rory Burns, and then in 2 innings he delivered. I'm not saying Ashwin wouldn't have delivered. He's got 5 Test hundreds, and he's the number 1 spinner in the world. But so though it seems quite obvious why Ashwin is not playing, the team that has played has delivered. I don't know what the Old Trafford wicket is going to be and whether they're going to change it, or I don't know what's going to happen, but just hope that both Pujara and Rohit are fit for that test match.
Well then, Raj, I think we will finish that there. So we will be back for the last review of this podcast at the end of the 5th test match, which will decide who will win it. But we do know that India will be taking the trophy back home, because if they do draw it, the person who won the series last, which was India back in India, will take the trophy back. So all I can say is I said back in March, England would hope India would swing over to England. But I tell you what, they'll be spinning back over because they're going to take the trophy home. So thanks for listening. Please subscribe. If we can get to 700 subscribers, that would be amazing for us. So thank you for listening. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.